Hey guys, you've tuned in to the Over Opinionated podcast, where we talk about all those opinions we have and air them out. My name is John Newcomb, here with my good friend John McKennis and other good friend Jake Poole, where the overshared and overrated are brought in a conservative light. Well, the New Year's coming up pretty quick. Um, do you guys have any New Year's resolutions you guys know about or you wanted to do?
Yeah. So, um, mine kind of comes twofold. Every year, I have a goal where I try to do something faith-based. I try to either grow my knowledge in, church understanding, or even just becoming more close to God in terms of my prayer life, that kind of thing. Um, so mine kind of includes that, but also a little bit um, how to become, a better citizen, if that makes sense. Um, so yeah, I want to become more purposeful in my knowledge and faith. Um, Try to do that by making prayer a more regular habit than currently is. And then just understand where my values currently are in standing with the Catholic Church. Um, Also, I hope to become a more involved citizen by year's end. Um, and that just means a having a better understanding of the current issues, current topics around the country, around the state. Um, and then if I can get involved with, my town, my county, my state, something like that. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy that. It's a very good New Year's resolution. Mine is not going to sound so well put together. I was kind of thinking for myself, getting 6 hours of sleep every night, that would be a good New Year's resolution.
I mean, hey, we're all working, so whatever we can get. So let's push for six.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm about to start working out with my brother on a more regular basis, and we got to do that before I go to work in the mornings, which means something along the lines of getting up at like 3 a.m.
Oh,
so what does that mean you typically on average would get? Like
For
4 hours a week?
sleep-wise,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start trying to actually go to bed to get 6 hours. So that would be like going to bed at 8, 9 o'clock at night, which is totally doable when you get up as early as like 3 in the morning. But in recent time before I started trying to go to bed earlier, I didn't get to bed before midnight, even when I had to be up at 4:15 to get to work.
Yeah.
so what
Yeah.
he's saying is we need to have his brother put some melatonin in his food before he goes to bed.
Oh no.
Not-
Do
I
you feel well rested, or do you just walk around, work and your daily life just like crash?
Don't
so
we all?
when I actually get 6 hours of sleep, I do generally feel very well rested. Um, when I'm only running on like 3 or 4 hours of sleep, it is more one, it's more difficult to get started, and two, I'll crash around 2 o'clock. So what'll happen is I'll get off work because I'll work 5:30 to 2, and then I will go either back to my place or I'll be at my parents' house for something or another, and then I'll just be like and conk out for maybe 2 or 3 hours. See, then I get 6 hours anyways.
See, I'm on the side of where I can go to bed at my normal time, but I'll still get up early. So I normally will be getting up at like 5 to 5:30 each day now, and sometimes I can go back to sleep, and I will just turn off the alarm and go back to sleep. But most of the time, I'm up, and because it helps me fuel my day.
Right.
So
I will say those adults in my life that told me that getting up earlier, as you get older, gets easier. They're right.
yeah,
It is
I
way
used to.
easier to function on 5, 6 hours of sleep than it was when I was in like high school.
Well, I used to think my mom was so weird. I'm like, why are you up at 3 a.m.? She's like, I'm old. I'm like, yes, mom, now I get it. So I'll tell her that. Like, I feel your pain. She's like,
Yeah.
What's funny is we're still technically growing and should be getting a fair amount of sleep. This should not be our age to be getting up that early. My grandmother, yeah, she'll go to bed at 11 and be up at 5. And now that I say that, maybe she goes to bed at midnight and up at 5. That's still 5 hours of sleep. That felt like such a short time when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now I'm realizing, oh, that's a pretty good time to sleep.
I mean, the only thing I'm aware of growing on me is my stomach, so I'm getting fat. Oh, yeah, that was perfectly timed.
For all
Yeah.
you listening as well, the general age here speaking tonight is like early 20s, 22, 21.
21.
Yeah.
So feel free to
21 and
slander
22.
us for saying that we're old or we're getting old.
I didn't say any
But
such thing.
my knees do pop. That's a true fact.
Well, that's just because we weigh a lot.
Are you calling me fat, sir?
I'm calling myself fat first.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, JJ, how about yourself? New Year's resolution, where do you stand?
So, okay, I got three. I will say, for first and foremost, I want to focus on becoming a better spiritual role model and leader in my family, especially with having a child on the way. And I need to do better than what I'm doing now. And so I want to get more involved in reading the scriptures each morning and kind of praying over the house, because dispersing any evil that's in here and just making it our sanctuary in a sense, our place of peace and calm, so that Caroline can make this a home and just the stress is all out of it.
Yeah.
My second goal is to over prepare myself for becoming a dad.
Oh boy.
I am trying to figure out the best way to do that, and I think I just need to start by talking to dads.
Okay, so yeah, we need to clarify. What do you mean by over prepare? Like just buy a bunch of stuff, or are you talking about like the mental side of it? Like just
do I stroll through Walmart and sometimes want to buy everything I see because one, there's a cute outfit that like yes, or two, that okay, that crib looks really cool, but is it the most reasonable price? So
yeah.
really just figuring out what I need to do in that standpoint. Talk to either my dad or Caroline's dad's a good option to go to, but also just listening to people who are outside of my family.
There.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have a nursery built before she's even showing.
I've thought about that. I've actually moved my gun safe to the basement so we can have a nursing chair, so their bedroom's moved. So yeah, I'm already planning out stuff for that.
But yeah, talking to your parents, talking around your church can also be helpful. If you have fellowship events with your church, finding other parents. I would say large families because I assume you want to have a large family.
Well, when I see the bill, that'll determine a lot of. No, that shouldn't determine how big of a family I have. That's up to God.
Well,
But
in a sense, it probably should. You know, you
I
don't
mean,
get carried out.
I will say, every time my father had another kid, he ended up either getting a better paying job or getting a raise. It just ended up happening. It wasn't like he was looking for it.
Yeah.
It just, the Lord kept providing more money to provide for the more kids.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord has definitely blessed us with having a child and also just giving us what we need and when we need it. And I'm thankful for that. My third final goal is to dive deeper into building my knowledge in marketing and business. So with this podcast, this will help me focus on getting my voice out there, talking with people, actually using, I guess you call it public speaking for communication, just talking better and proving my points in a more concise way. Normally when I talk to people face to face and we're kind of I've never been good at debating face to face. So kind of funny. Yesterday, my coworker, not going to name names, but they wanted to talk to me about, this was while on my lunch. So I was minding my own business, just eating my lunch on my computer, doing business stuff. And they were like, I'm so tired of Trump sending out everybody. He's just going to send me out because I'm Haitian. I'm like, gosh. And so she wanted to have this really, really long conversation about why Trump's so bad, and I'm like, well,
Have you had other
but she's
conversations like that?
I've never
Or
actually had that big of. It was like a whole hour lunch, and I took up 45 minutes of it just
yeah,
talking to her. Um, no, it was so all over the place. I mean, she's like, well, I have a green card and I'm American citizen. I'm like, no, you're not. If you have a green card, it doesn't make you an American citizen.
So does she have a green card or is she American citizen?
She doesn't know.
She doesn't know. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that she's not an
I'm thinking
American
she's going to be
citizen.
picked up by ICE. Not
Well,
saying
if she has a good green card, a legal green card for
Yeah.
a real legitimate reason, then she'll be fine. Also, if she's been in the States for more than 5 years, she can
should have
apply. She can apply for citizenship.
Yep.
She can still apply for citizenship.
Yep.
So I would wager to say that would probably be a good bet for her
Yeah,
to
she needs
try
to.
and apply for citizenship.
Well, she was trying to convince me that if you just have a green card, that automatically makes you an American citizen. And I was like, well, no, that doesn't. Because a green card is all that is allowing you to do is to stay in the country with the premise that you are going to fill out, do all the paperwork for citizenship, and go through that proper.
it is crazy the
It-
misunderstanding for like what all of these steps are and like
Sure.
what qualifies as an actual citizen versus someone who's a guest, a resident, or just an illegal
And
immigrant.
a green card is a permanent resident, right? So, like, the visas have to get renewed, but I think a green card is a permanent resident. So they are not a U.S. citizen, but they're allowed to stay here as long as they'd like. Typically, I think, which means they can't vote. They don't have the powers of U.S. citizens, but they're not. They don't have to be worried necessarily about ICE either. I don't believe.
Right. I didn't know that part. I thought green cards were just you were allowed here for a certain amount of time, like it was maybe 5 years. And
I
then
think
you had
that's
to
a
renew
visa.
that. That's
So
a
to
visa?
reiterate, so a green card, formerly known as a permanent resident card, is an identification document issued by the U.S. government. Some of the rights would include they can live permanently anywhere in the U.S., provided you do not commit actions that would make you deportable under immigration law. You can work in any legal job. You're protected by all laws of the United States. You can apply for U.S. citizenship once certain residency and physical presence requirements are met. And then also sponsor certain family members for their own green cards. So,
Right. So a visa is what you were thinking of, and visas they're only good for a certain amount of time. Typically, you get either a school visa or a work visa or a travel visa, and those allow you to do one of those three things. And once they're expire, you have to go back to your home country and get a new visa.
Yes, yeah.
If you don't go back, then you are eligible to be deported because you no longer have a license to be in this country.
Yep.
So where she has a green card, she doesn't have anything to worry about.
No.
But no, she is not
Okay.
a U.S. citizen.
yeah. So essentially, what we're going to talk about now is where we are at in terms of our jobs, careers, where we're at, where we hope to go, and the like. So, JJ, you like to start us off?
Oh, sure. So I work as a warehouse associate at LH Industrial Supplies in Lafayette, Indiana. I've been there for about 3.5 months. I've had previous experience in warehouse. I used to work at Caterpillar at our warehouses that supported the large engine plant in Lafayette. So it was a pretty smooth transition over to that job. I had some experience.
What are the differences between your two positions at the different warehouses?
So at Caterpillar, our Caterpillar's warehouses are a lot bigger. So it was definitely a change in size for sure, not just building size, but also just what I'm dealing with. So when I was at Caterpillar, I don't know if you've heard of a reach truck. So it's a standing forklift that you drive around, but it has like a 30-foot mast that you can pull stuff off shelves.
Mhm.
And so at Caterpillar, I was on that for 12 hours. My whole job was to pick crates and move them to a crane so that they could be craned out and put into these massive crates that was then shipped out to the plant. But I was also doing multiple different jobs. I'd be the dock driver and load trailers and do it. As for LH, we still have a few of those trucks, just 3, as Caterpillar had 60, but it was definitely a change for just the size of parts and for the inventory of the part and just counting and just what we send out. So there's still stuff that I didn't know we had that we're sending to people because we have our storefront, which sells a lot of like your tools, your odds and ends for construction, all the way to just warehouse stuff. And what I'll do is I'll just fill orders from multiple different companies and I'll package them and then we'll send them out. So it's not the logistics side of it is pretty much the same thing as Caterpillar, but there's just the details are a lot different. Like what I'm dealing with is a lot different. Like I'll pack tools, I'll do bolts and nuts all day, or toilet paper for a company that's restocking all their warehouses, third source.
And is this where you're planning on staying?
No. So for the meantime, for the long run, I definitely don't want to, I want to expand and I want to eventually be able to run my own business. So I guess I can bring up what I was going to bring up earlier.
There you go.
I am starting a coffee brand.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm doing it through what's called drop shipping. I don't know if you guys have heard of that or are familiar with that.
I've heard of the term.
So drop shipping, you're working with a third party organization that connects you directly to a roaster. And so they'll send me the product and they'll ship it and handle it and do all that side. While I'll do the marketing and branding and all that work.
What's it going to be called?
So it's called Liberty Grounds Coffee Company. I'm still getting the rights.
You're not gonna. I was gonna say, Marco, it seems like a generic brand. And is that like already being used?
No,
No.
they're okay. In Massachusetts, there's a Liberty Ground Coffee Shop, not a company. So there's the word difference. So,
Totally different.
totally different, guy. And there's only one of them.
Now.
And there's only one of them. So
Okay.
So you're gonna be using like the same roasters that other people would use?
Is it just
Like, or is it gonna be like a?
possibly, if I expand out, I mean, I can. My goal is to, in the next couple of years, to be able to maybe start working with roasteries, like personally traveling to a different roastery and asking, hey, I have this coffee brand. Would you partner with me? And can I buy your roast for a percentage of business? So what drop shipping is doing right now is they're doing a lot of the work, but they're getting part of the profit and I'm getting some of the profit.
I see, yeah.
Yeah.
So is the coffee business, I mean, I would assume it's very competitive. Is it like hard to get into, like hard to not make your stake, if that makes sense?
It can be, it's all what you put into it. Actually, can show you guys a preview right now of the website that I have.
Sure. And also, as far as the coffee business goes, it really comes down to the marketing. Because there's new coffee places have sprung up all over the place. Like,
so
yeah,
here's my logo.
Yeah.
So
cool.
It says Liberty Grounds Coffee Company.
Yeah.
I had AI build me this.
Of course.
Because why not? I need it to be themed. And so it actually, the roastery that I'm using already has pre-made roast and they'll print it with my logo on it.
It's all sold out. Look at that.
Well, this is because it's a preview. So like I got my seasonal flavors. So for when I publish it, it'll still be the winter. So I'm hoping around the holidays I'll get this published.
Sure.
And then I got a sample pack. So the best, so you get your cowboy, your breakfast blend, and so that's just a pack.
It's interesting. Okay.
And that's $24.99. And then I had another AI generated image.
Yeah,
It's Coffee Club in King.
Coffee Club.
Is that like
so that's where I'm putting my packs. And so I can custom make different packs. So right now I just have
are you gonna have like a subscription thing?
Where like
I will turn it into a monthly subscription, but
at the moment it's not exactly set up for that.
No.
Okay.
I see.
Like at the bottom it says join us, but I don't have an email subscription yet.
Yeah.
So
Right.
this is all I can do through Shopify, and I
Yeah.
can market through that.
It looks really good.
So this is just the base. I'm still working on the website, but
Yeah.
like our mission,
That's very detailed.
yeah.
What is the pledge? What's it say?
Where's the pledge? I can't. No.
We pledge to honor service, not exploit it, to deliver coffee as strong and dependable as those who drink it, to stand with veterans and first responders, past, present, and future, to remain disciplined, honest, and mission focused. This is Liberty Grounds, built to serve those who serve. That sounds pretty good.
That's for sure.
I do like
Is
that.
that ChatGPT?
Yeah, a little bit. Wow, way to exploit me right there, buddy.
I just had to ask.
They like don't even know me. I could have written that.
You read it. That's why I asked. I
did write a lot of it.
That was
I did. I did write a lot of that. I actually just made that this morning. So,
And the core
I
of
had-
it is obviously
well,
yours.
and this is not a bad thing. I love ChatGPT for what it can do with, like, I can throw my ideas in there and it'll edit it out for me and it'll make it refined. So it gave me tons of different options, and I chose the best of what it gave me.
I do have mixed opinions on
I have
AI.
mixed opinions
It's
about
like-
AI, but
I love it for the fact that it can refine your ideas
yes,
very quickly, I might add. But also, if you rely on it too much for refining your ideas, you're going to become unable to refine your own ideas.
Yeah. It does make you think, like we talked about, like the generational gaps, how it's shrinking, like in 10 years, what's the reliance people are going to have on AI, ChatGPT, all that kind of stuff, like the creativity. Like you look at people in the 1800s, 1900s, their creativity versus today. So what's that going to be like? In 10 years? That'll be very interesting to see.
well, if Elise stays out of the military, I'm fine. I don't care how stupid people want to get. I'm kidding.
I think it's interesting because we have so much more access to the different creative thinkers and different styles that you should be able to, in theory, create more because you see all of this.
Yeah.
But it becomes borderline overwhelming to see everything and then still have to create something different.
Mm-hmm.
So that is definitely the difficulty of being creative in this society.
Yeah. For the most part, I'm using the Chat GPT just to refine. I mean, I already had ideas. I wanted to be very veteran focused, very just true patriot, because I feel like I'm sad to say that America has not been a very patriot-like country in a while. Not to.
I feel like it depends where you look.
It depends.
Because, like, if you watch the Army-Navy game
Like-
this past
that was
couple
very
weeks ago,
yeah.
that was wonderful.
That was wonderful. But I'm saying just as what the social media streams is just up until, unfortunately, Charlie Kirk's assassination, it's definitely boosted patriotism for sure.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I definitely don't think that we are as patriotic as we might have once been. I do think we are still probably one of the most patriotic nations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Especially if you look at, like, France, Great Britain, all them. Like, we definitely stand out.
Dude, there are
I'd
people in
say
Great Britain
I'd
that
say
think if you put
Poland-
the Union Jack out, you're an
Yeah.
extremist.
I know.
I'd
Like,
say
I can't even imagine.
Poland is wonderful.
in Australia.
Yes.
Well, I would visit Australia not for the animals because I don't want to die, but
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Australian policies and stuff.
Australian policies are not great, but their patriotism is phenomenal. Like
They are still
they are very-
Australians, yes.
yes. They're very good at them, but they also have a lot of very similar core values that American Constitution has, and I think they based a lot of it off of it. But
Well, that's
there are
because,
some
like,
policies
I
that are
mean,
not the same. For sure.
British first colonized the U.S. Australia was first colonized by the British. So we all have roots in the British.
The biggest difference between Australia and the U.S. is Australia was essentially a prison land for a while.
Yeah.
That's where they would
Just
just.
like the 1950s.
We don't
Right,
want the
right.
convicts, so we're going
They-
to send them to a dangerous.
Yes, yeah,
And
exactly.
they thrive.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're just gonna throw everyone that we don't want around us in a different land. And Georgia was actually started
Georgia
like
was
that.
like that. Yeah.
It was another prison thing, and then Great Britain couldn't do it in Georgia anymore, so they switched to Australia. Like,
Darn it, guys.
but yes, that is so. We did have a lot of similar roots, and even I would say in the more rebellious nature of the country's upstartings.
Mhm.
But from there, I think we differ on our core values more than you would think.
We do differ in our core values, but I think our patriotism is very similar. How they love their country and how we love our country is very similar in their strength for that.
Mhm.
At least in some groups. I mean, I'm for sure all big cities have people who are.
I was going to say, almost every country at some
It's like once
level
you go
has
into the rural
patriotism.
community, I mean, all the Midwest for the most part, except Chicago.
I mean, let's be honest, the Midwest itself is just kind of crazy, but no.
Oh yeah, the weather here sucks.
Well, it takes a unique kind of person to live out in the Midwest to really thrive out here. And so, but I don't think that holds against the patriotism. I think we have
No, yeah.
patriotism everywhere in the South, in the Midwest, in the Northeast.
Yeah.
I think anywhere. I think everywhere you're going to find the patriotic people. I think the issue is that the people that are not patriotic simply have the loudest voice.
Yeah.
If you're a very patriotic person, you may not be throwing your hat in the ring.
Mhm.
So they're there, but they're more of the quiet onlookers. They're not really shouting to the rooftops how great America is because they understand that's not going to solve the
Yeah, for sure. And that's why I kind of wanted to start the podcast with you guys, is get our voices out there and talk about the things we believe in. And then also just the coffee. I love coffee so much.
Free marketing for your coffee company.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
What about you, John?
Yeah, so I work in the customer service. I work particularly at a car wash, and I've worked there for going on 5 years come February. So been there for a hot minute. Started out, as a nighttime associate and has since worked my way up to assistant manager, going for operations manager. So trying to climb the ranks, but I love it. I love working at the car wash. I mean, it has its ups and downs, but for the most part, I love working there. I would say probably for every 10 people we hire, you'll probably have 3 or 4 of them last 3+ years, which for a company is pretty good. I would say our turnover rate is very, very low. But yeah, the customers we have, hey, you have your goods and your bads, but for the most part, they make your day. They enjoy being there as much as anybody else. So yeah.
So you plan on staying there for the foreseeable future then?
For the foreseeable future, I mean, kind of like JJ said, I have my aspirations. I would like to get into, renting apartments, houses, that kind of thing. I would also,
So like property management?
yeah, property man. Also want to look into politics. I've always been very interested, really since 2016. When, I mean, in 2016, I was like 13, 14.
And that's
So
when
I
we
was
can really
watching, like,
understand it.
exactly.
We can start to
The
understand it.
presidential debate.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sure.
Yeah, that was
That's
amazing.
all I ever wanted to watch.
So you'd want to be a politician or like a campaigner?
I don't want to be a campaigner. I would like to be a politician, but I don't necessarily want to make a big splash right away. I kind of went, essentially what I'm doing at career is kind of work the ladder, work my way up, if that makes sense.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I
So,
guess.
Jake, where are you at? Where are you right now?
This is a fun topic. So
Buckle up, everybody.
currently, I'm at Chick-fil-A. I've been at Chick-fil-A for 5 years. It just ended 5 years in November. So, working through the 6th year.
Can you give our audience my pleasure? We just need to hear it from a true Chick-fil-A employee.
The only correct answer would be yes, but you have to say thank you first.
Thank you.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
There you go.
But anyways, I do like working over there for the most part. I just don't want to, like, I'm not working my way up the ladder. I'm a trainer. I've been a trainer for like the last 3 or 4 years, and I am happy being a trainer. I'm not trying to go up any higher, but I also don't want to stay there.
Yeah.
I've been working my way through college. I'll have on paper the associate's degree in December. Like, so I've completed all the classes and everything. So I have the associate's degree, but I don't get like the written paper that says I have my associate's degree until December.
Well,
I see.
congrats on that. That's a
Oh,
good
thank you.
achievement.
Yep, it's mechanical engineering technology.
Oh, there you go.
So I'm currently looking for positions to open up in that field. The biggest issue I'm running into at the moment is a lot of those positions are for bachelor degrees.
Mm.
And I really don't want to do 2 more years of school.
Yeah.
I got through Ivy Tech without any debt.
There you go.
If I went to Purdue, I would have to take on a massive amount of debt,
Yeah.
or at least what feels massive to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really don't want to do that. And so the only positions that really accept associate's degrees require a level of experience in the field already.
Yeah.
Which means now I'm looking for entry level positions into the different fields. Like, so there are some positions like Subaru had a position open for a supply engineer, and you needed 3 years, 2 to 3 years of supply experience. So that would be like working somewhere JJ worked for a few years and my associate's degree, then I could apply for that position.
Yep.
So right now I'm trying to figure out what field I want to go and try and get my experience in so that I can jump into that and get those years started.
Is it one of those things that you can just get experience, just period, and then go into different areas, or do you have to choose now which area you go into to get into the desired space?
So I think that's kind of a tough one. I think in some ways those positions overlap. So like if I were to go into supply, get the experience in supply, and then become a supply engineer for Subaru, and I stay there for a while, then I want to go over and get a different job somewhere else. I've been in an engineering position. I am considered an engineer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But maybe they want someone who has experience in manufacturing, in which case I wouldn't be the highest candidate there,
Yeah.
even if I am willing to learn the position.
Nice.
So there are certain availabilities to jump over, like they will teach you the learning curve a little bit. But if it's too wide of a gap, then you're just never going to end up getting hired for that position.
How competitive is the space? Like, is it hard to get into these different positions and that kind of thing?
Well, it depends. It depends a lot on whether or not you want to move. Like, if you were willing to just go wherever, you could probably get on a lot easier in a lot of other places. Granted, they may not be able to help you move much, but would be more positions available. You might be able to slide into an internship and then into a company,
Yeah.
Staying in Lafayette, first of all, there's always jobs for engineers. Everyone's always looking for an engineer at some capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a job available, but there's also an influx of people who are applying for that job. So yes, there is a area and places to be, and you can get in there, but you may honestly end up searching for somewhere between 3 to 6 months before you actually find a job that wants you.
I see.
And you can help yourself out by taking internships, getting more experience in those areas, trying to find and fit all those buzzwords. If you look at a job listing, there's a lot of buzzwords in that listing.
Yeah.
You kind of want to tailor your resume to fit those buzzwords.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have prior experience, you can tailor that way, then that's great. If you don't, maybe you need to go find some more experience in that area to make yourself look like the best candidate.
Yeah.
But that's typical for job hunting in general, really.
Yeah, it's pretty general.
But yeah, Chick-fil-A for now. Hopefully engineering, any engineering position. Really not picky at this moment.
Where you can get it.
I just want a job.
Yeah.
Preferably somewhere I can be there for like 20 years. So,
Mm-hmm.
Have you looked at Kirby Risk? You have a few Kirby Risks here in Lafayette.
There are places I would prefer to get on would be Kirby Risk, Wabash, Caterpillar. One of those three. Subaru if I have to. Subaru is like nice to have like benefits for the family and stuff, but it's not. At least the line is often not touted as a very good work environment. Now I know that I wouldn't be working on the line.
warehouse position. Any
Yeah,
warehouse, right?
that's
Also,
Caterpillar is the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, the people who
I don't know if I've
Subaru
ever
go to
talked
Caterpillar.
to like a line worker and they said like the environment is wonderful. I'm staying here for the next 15 years, you know. Like I feel
they
like
still do though. No.
they still do.
No, but yeah, I do know that. But Subaru just seems to be of the big ones in town. Subaru seems to be the worst of it.
I see.
But really, my preference would be Caterpillar. Also, though, Subaru is a car factory, and there's an actual line that is actively like moving. You know,
Mhm.
I think a lot of the other ones, like I did a tour of Alcoa a while back, and they have stations. They don't have a line.
Hmm.
So essentially, you have to like you're adjusting a part or changing some things, putting something together, and you have to get your station done at whatever their quota is. You know, so you don't necessarily have a line. Now, granted, you still have to keep pace,
Yeah.
but it's not a line per se. And I feel like that's probably a better an environment people are going to take to a little better.
Yeah.
Have you
That makes
seen
sense.
the line at Caterpillar on the main plant?
I've not.
You should go get a tour there. It is on a line.
Mm-hmm.
The line moves less than a mile per hour, so it's very timed slowly because.
Well, yeah, you still have to be able to do your position,
But
in a
it's on an
certain
actual
amount of
track,
time.
and then
Yeah.
I'll pick them up, crane them, and move them.
Mhm.
It's very cool.
My
Would be
goal
best
with
for you.
Caterpillar would be to get into the engineering side of it. Whether or not I have to go be a technician over there first in order to move up into more of the engineering space, that would be a good thing. Really, eventually, I would want because most of the engineering positions are going to be 9 to 5s. Like I don't like odd hour shifts. I like
Or you're just-
stability.
4 10 to 6?
I
Is that what
like
you're saying?
I like my stability. I've worked I work in fast food and I've had open enough availability that I literally don't know when I'm working each week.
What's
Where
I don't know what that is.
where literally it'll shift from you working Fridays at 5:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. You know, like
Yeah.
those you could flip flop week to week on that,
Yeah.
and it's just I do prefer having a set in stone time,
Yeah.
and in theory,
That's
I would like it one that matches up with everyone else in my life.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons too where
I would say an 8 to 5 job would be good.
yeah. That's where one of the negatives to working at a car wash could be is because you're open, 14 hours of the day, open 7 to 9, but also um it's a very weather based business. So obviously if it's raining, you're not going to get a lot of cars, so you're not going to have a lot of labor to work with. So you're not going to be working that much. But also, hey, if there's a lot of salt on the road, for example, it's sunny out, you're going to be running a lot of cars and be a lot of staffing. So that is
you're not even going to be able to
consistency.
schedule that easily
I
because
know.
you don't know what the weather is going to be like.
So we have like a base model essentially that we base it.
Do you like schedule a lot of people and then just cut?
So we typically schedule like between 9 and 11 people a day.
Okay.
And that's just throughout the day. You typically have 3 openers, 3 closers, and then like, 3 or 4 mid shifters, right? And then come the day of, you'll cut or maybe even add a shift or two based on the demand for what the weather is going to look like.
Sure.
Or even like, hey, sometimes sporting events, something like that will affect the flow of customers, right? So,
Do people pick up short added shifts like that?
I mean, so we have a lot of high schoolers. So, I mean, some of our high schoolers only work 4 hours a day.
Yeah.
So if you send a message out saying, hey, we need coverage from, noon to 4, more than likely someone's going to pick it up just because, they're a high schooler and maybe it's a Saturday, they're not doing something right. So
Right.
they're not exactly demanding a lot of hours unless there may be a college student looking for, a little more hours to pay for college, that kind of thing. Or it's summer, everyone wants hours that they can get. So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, Jake, what would you say are some future goals of yours or anything new that's upcoming for you?
Fair. All right. So I guess we went over like more long-term goals. Now we got to bring back into like the short term. Well, I guess getting a new job is not really long term. I want that. That needs to be like a short one now. Like, um, but it starts to feel more and more like a long-term goal the farther it drags on and on.
Are you putting like your application and resume out there, or is that not happening?
So I was doing that for a while, and then I moved house. I moved over to Jeremy's place,
Oh, yeah.
and so I've only recently become more settled in, and so now I'm going to start looking through stuff again
Yeah,
and getting my application back out there.
I see.
But yes, so that is a thing.
Okay.
But yes, in the more like immediately short term, like in the next week or so, is I want to start working out. Yeah. I started a program. It's an interesting program. It's a beginner set program, but the idea is there's a list of workouts,
Mhm.
and then the way it seems set is you're gonna alternate between half your workouts twice a week and then half your workouts once a week. And they have those set aside which ones you're doing. So like the Monday, and so it's only 3 workouts a week, and
Okay.
3 workouts a week with multiple different. I don't know what you would call it. Uh, hmm,
Repetitions?
it's not repetitions because it's different. It's like one program, if you will, but different like workouts in the program, if you will.
Okay.
So it's like
Segment?
segments, yeah, maybe. Because like I want to say one workout, but then like I guess I don't know how to categorize what's squat versus deadlift. Different lifts, maybe.
Okay.
Lifts is a good way to
Yeah.
say that.
Is this all being done at like a gym, or
Yeah,
do you have your own equipment?
it would be a gym.
Okay.
But so essentially, so like Monday and Friday it would be the same, just alternating whether or not you do bench or overhead press those days. And then on Wednesday, it's a completely different setup. But the idea is you start with a very lightweight that you can do 3 sets of 12 reps in each workout. Okay?
Mhm.
And then you're going to add weight to it every single week until you can no longer do 12 reps. Once you can no longer do 12 reps, you reduce the weight 10%, and then you do 11 reps.
Okay.
Until you can no longer do 11 reps. And then you reduce the weight 10%, and then you do it until you can no longer do 10 reps.
That's an interesting idea.
Yeah,
It's
so
like a reverse
each
way
week,
to build muscle. It's a reverse way of thinking of how to build muscle.
yeah. So each week you're building up the amount of weight you're lifting, and every time you hit a wall, you reduce the weight and you do less reps to continue adding the weight you can do. The goal would be to get the big lifts like bench, deadlift, squat down to 5. Once they're down to 5, you're going to want to find a more intermediate version of the program.
Okay.
But because of how it's set up with how low you're going to start, this might take upwards of 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very, very good way to bulk up, get muscle, be much fitter. And so you don't think much of it now when it starts out, but it gets very heavy very quick. That's the expectation.
Yeah.
So,
and did I misunderstand when you said you're only doing this Monday and Friday?
Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
Oh, Wednesday, right? Okay.
Yes. So it's 3 times a week with at least one rest day in between each one,
Mhm.
because it's a lot of heavy lifting.
Mhm.
And you need to recover between lifts. Otherwise, you're going to burn out those muscles.
Yeah.
Or are you going to do cardio on the off days? Get like a good walk in or maybe a jog.
Personally, I hate cardio. I know Jeremy, my brother's planning on doing like a 5K on his off days.
Just like running straight 5 miles each.
That 5 kilometers, 3 miles.
Oh, 5K. I'll say,
Yeah. But that's about 3 miles. I don't like cardio. I'll probably try to do something on my off days, but it might end up being more of like a stretch because we know I'm not flexible enough. Ugh. But yeah, so that'd be the goal. And because we want to do it to start the day off on a good foot, we're going to do it when we wake up before work. And since I have to work at 5:30 a lot, that means waking up at like 3 a.m.
Nice.
And days when I don't work, we still have to get up at 5 a.m. because Jeremy works at 8. So that's good. And I think I want to get in the habit of sleeping no later than 5 a.m. every day anyways, simply because of a lot of things that are early in the day. Like even, so I have one day off a week and I can sleep as late as I want that day. Otherwise, I have church. Or work. And work, usually I get up at like 5:30. Or, well, no, I got to be there at 5:30. Usually I get up at like 4:15.
How far is the church from your house?
Church from my house is like 40 minutes.
Okay.
Work from my house is like 35.
Okay.
I budget about 45 minutes no matter what, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm like, I will sit in this parking lot for 10 minutes rather than be late too.
Yeah.
Like, I do not like that. Yeah. But yeah, so like I have to be at church at 7:15. So that's like you get to sleep in that day, but it's still not like, and like I said, I used to go to bed at midnight. So that still wouldn't be sleeping in all that much. So I do have to get to bed earlier now too.
It's funny, since I started getting up earlier, I've noticed that my sleeping in is like, oh, I'm getting up at like 7.
Right.
Because then Caroline will be like, it's so early. I'm like, no, I'm awake.
And again,
I have to.
High school when
we would
like,
sleep until like 10.
Yeah. It was just like a crazy thought, or
It was because we were growing so much.
Dude,
at a faster rate
I
that
can
we could
still sleep that long.
Okay, Jake, we're not that good.
I'm just saying.
It just hurts my back to lay in bed that long.
Yeah.
Try having
It's a lot easier to, function off.
Try having a person right next to you.
But I will say, getting up early in the morning, you feel a lot more productive.
You do.
Like,
it's so much more.
I spend the same amount of hours awake if I get 6 hours going to bed at midnight and getting up at 6. But if I get 6 hours going to bed at, say, 10 and getting up at 4, I feel a lot more productive.
Yeah, I mean, if I get up at 5:30 and I have enough time, my coffee's already brewed, and I have enough time to grind away on Minecraft for an hour. It's so productive. Which I've done a few times. Sometimes I need a release and I need to make a mod.
Yeah.
It is nice being up early before everything else is up and running. And I usually whittle a lot of time away in the evenings. Like, my family, we were raised, we really didn't do much after supper. So after supper, you sat down, you fellowship with your family, you turned the TV on, whatever you did, and then you just hung out until you went to bed. Yeah. And so that's still true no matter how late I stay up. So even if my waking hours are like 10 a.m. to, I don't know, 2, I still don't do anything after supper.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of hours to be unproductive. That's like 10 hours that you're not doing anything.
And that's kind of the same thing for me. That's why I kind of started getting up earlier so that I could get some of my stuff done. And then when I get home, I can just be. And sometimes I'll still work on stuff when I'm at home, but I'm mostly just focused on getting stuff done around the house that I need to catch up on. Or just chilling. I mean, that chilling with Carol. I mean, that's
because you wake up during the weekday, you have your morning shift, leave at 6 a.m., 5 a.m., whatever it is, and then you get to Saturday, Sunday, all of a sudden you don't have to work. You could sleep in really late, or maybe sleep in an hour and then take a midday nap at like noon or 1 o'clock. Those are the best.
My after Sunday nap is a staple of my group dinner at my grandmother's house. Yep. But that's also might have something to do with the amount of food that I eat at my grandmother's house because dang, she makes the best
I get
food.
that. My dad, he used to work at McDonald's, and so he figured out how to make really good pancakes. And because this was back when McDonald's actually used real ingredients
Hmm.
for a lot of their stuff, and then
They used real ingredients. So is your dad like 85?
well, they weren't as tainted as they are today.
Oh, okay.
But he would always make a big breakfast after mass on Sunday, and we'd come home, and then they'd be passed out on the couch like right after. Like it
Oh,
hits you
yeah.
hard. It's all those carbs, man.
Yeah.
It really
It's
is.
the carbs. It just makes you tired, and then you wake up like, oh, I could use some more carbs.
Yeah. But it was also like you're working all week in anticipation for Sunday, Saturday, whatever it is, knowing that that's going to be like your off day. You're not going to do anything. So you're already ready for just a nothing day, nap, take it easy, maybe have
Yeah,
fun with the family or
that's what
whatever.
my
So,
Sundays are,
yeah.
'cause for the most part.
So how about you, John? You got JJ, you got interesting future plans besides your coffee?
Oh, coffee. Yeah. Future plans.
Well, if that's a no, moving on. No.
Well, I want to do more traveling. So, and yes, this is going to be regards to part of the coffee. I want to get into going to conferences to better my understanding of like business.
What kind
So,
of conferences?
like, I'm trying to find if there's like a convention for people who have small businesses, and I'm sure they have them.
I'm sure they do.
But
I'm
I
sure
want
they
to go
cost
to.
money as well.
I'm sure they do cost money, but I want to be able to travel and go to those conferences and
Yeah.
learn and see what other people are doing, so that I can maybe bring that back and focus that on my company. Um, but also, I just want to kind of maybe not this year go traveling as much because of the baby,
Yeah.
but I don't really have too many new things coming up right now. Future goals for sure. I want to be able to just give my family and set them up enough that we can say, hey, I bought plane tickets. We're going to Hawaii for a couple days. It'll be fine. We
There
don't
you
have to
go.
worry about it. That's my goal is to
You'll-
set up my family so well.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to grind for like 5 years to 10 years. Like you may not be able to travel now, but you can set yourself up to travel in the future.
Yeah. I need to be able to create something of my own. And I chose
That's
coffee.
very valid.
I chose coffee. So, and maybe if coffee,
I will say, even like 3 months ago, if you had asked me anybody would ask me what kind of startup business JJ would have come up with, coffee wouldn't have been one of them.
what would you think of?
I don't know, like maybe like some kind of camping equipment, or
You.
that's not me. I don't camp that much, but
No, we would start a camping business and be like John and John Tent Company. No, but just being able to set up my family so comfortably, not like we're gonna be crazy, crazy rich, because maybe if I put enough work into this coffee company, maybe it'll start off and go well, and then be the next Black Rifle.
Mhm.
But I want to be comfortable. I want to do more than what I did.
Yeah.
Like I want to give my kids more. I want to be able to travel. I want to go to Ireland. I want to go to Poland.
Yeah.
Traveling outside
That'd
the
be really
country.
Not that. I mean,
too.
hey,
That
Poland's
is
fun.
super expensive. I'm sure that it would be fun. Personally, I think America is the greatest country on earth and don't know why anyone would want to leave it. We've got all the polar hemispheres here.
I mean, fair, valid.
You got 50 degrees.
We also got the
Yes.
cultures that you can't. It's not necessarily the.
Yeah, and there's also a
nature
lot of
that I want-
history outside
Yeah,
in
it's
Europe
history
and
and
stuff.
culture that
I would
going to
really
see.
love to visit it if it didn't require leaving this country. Like,
All right, John, how about you? What are your new things going on?
Well, similar to you, I have a youngin on the way. So, come tail end of March, I'll have a baby McKinnis roaming around the house. So, just getting ready for that. And so I guess tidbit for you. What we have, my wife and I have found is that the local secondhand stores are very, very handy when it comes to, equipment such as like
Like Once Upon a Child.
bassinets. Yeah, Once Upon a Child, Plato's Closet, or no, not Plato's Closet. I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, Once Upon a Child would be one. Yeah, bassinets, strollers. You got tons of clothes in there, toys, that kind of thing. All of it is very well kept, at least for the most part. Very clean. But for example, we got a bassinet, I think it was like 75 bucks. We looked
Ooh.
on Amazon, the exact same thing is like $320.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not.
That's what secondhand will do for you.
All right.
Yeah.
It still feels expensive to me because I'm looking for like garage sale prices. Oh, bassinet, $20. Like,
Yeah.
But no.
Keep your eye out for deals like
I
that.
would
But
definitely do that.
But yeah, also if you have the time, looking at garage sales can also be helpful as well,
May is the time to do it.
right?
Yeah, right before the baby comes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You're like
That-
finishing touches on the
Are you
nursery.
yeah. Are you guys doing any like a baby shower? Are you guys, or is that
It's a toss of the idea is yes. Her family is like setting that up. We don't have like necessarily a date yet, or like the details and that kind of thing is still yet to be decided. But the general idea is yes, that will happen. But yeah, I mean, Sarah, my wife, is on top of it. Reading articles and talking to her mom, her grandma, doctor, all that kind of stuff. Like she's really getting prepared for everything. I'm just kind of not necessarily trying to stay out of it.
you're just
'Cause
there?
see, I'm not quite.
You're not there.
I'm like a step above that.
Oh.
I am in it enough to partake and like give my 2 cents on the subject and even like kind of help with certain things, right? But I feel like if I'm going to get as involved as she is, I'm going to stress myself out as much as she is. So I'm kind of trying to stay out of it just enough so when she gets stressed like crazy, I can kind of be there, just like calm her down or like figure the subject at hand out.
Sure.
To that would be one, and then just getting the house ready as well for baby, but also just I have projects going on that have been going on for probably 3 months, maybe even longer. So just trying to clean up some of those projects and get the master bedroom, baby bedroom, that kind of thing all cleaned up and ready to go. So
That's good. I was
Yeah.
kind of thinking about it as we were talking about baby showers. I was like, the premise of this is that you have a baby shower to give gifts. But most of the time, the guy's not even there.
Mhm.
So then why isn't there like a father shower?
So my father went fishing with my grandfather and some buddies during my mother's baby shower.
There you go.
So if you guys have a baby shower,
Also, in this
you need
day,
to do something.
in this day and age, it's not so uncommon for the man to be there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's how it should be. I'm just saying it's not so uncommon.
Knowing my
anymore.
family and her family, I'm not going to be there until the van needs to be loaded up.
I would like.
got one job.
Yeah, load up the car. That was the
Manual
same thing with
labor.
the bridal shower.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to be there for the baby shower either. It's
Kids are like, let's play this little game. I'm like, I don't want to play a game. I know what it is and you don't.
Yeah.
No. But in all seriousness, there should be something that men should have like a certain thing. I mean, I know like a lot of the time there's the bachelor party for the wedding, but why isn't there like a fatherhood party? Like you're being you're about to become a father. You are a father now. And so like, why don't
So
we do more of a celebration? I think that's something that we
here's the question:
decided
what is
to
the
do.
purpose of a baby shower?
So get gifts.
Yeah, it's to help out the new and incoming mother to
Mhm.
supply her nursery, to supply her
Yeah.
products. And so, like, the dude doesn't need any of that.
No.
And
Well-
so, yeah, like, if you wanted to celebrate, that's great. Go celebrate. But you don't need to make, like, some huge shower out of it. You know, it's
Like, I'm
definitely
not
like a
saying
couple
object-
friends kind of dudes. Like,
Yeah.
hey, you're having a baby, you know? Maybe just going out and having a cigar or something like that.
Yeah.
And you'll see dudes that they'll celebrate after the baby is born. they'll all like go around and get a cigar, for the occasion. They don't necessarily celebrate in preparation for the baby.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess I'm not saying that there needs to be like this whole big party, but I think society needs to raise fatherhood to another level.
Yeah, sorry.
In like fatherhood it's one of the most fundamental things of a family, alongside motherhood, but we do not get to see it that much.
I do
It's
see
not
what you're saying,
mainstream.
in that sense.
And I'm not saying you have to go buy things for the father, but like there needs to be a community.
hmm
See,
I think that's one of the things too that kind of uh, is a hindrance to something like that. Because, how often does the guy for the wedding do nothing but hang out with the guys? Then he gets married, and all of a sudden he's not hanging out with the guys anymore. And maybe they've left, or they're just on like good friend terms, if that makes sense anymore.
well,
So
yeah,
now you
'cause-
have this baby shower in a sense for the father, but besides maybe her family, your family, not necessarily saying that you don't have any friends, but how many of those that were at that bachelor party, I guess, at a large group of, society, how many of them are still around?
right, because the stigma is that, oh no, you don't want to get married because all your buddies are telling you, I'll never see you again. You're not going to be able to hang out. And if you don't have the right buddies, that's very, very true.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to see them. You're not going to hang out with them because your priorities are vastly different once you get married, once you start having kids.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's definitely more of a, you need to find the right friend kind of a thing. Yeah.
And I guess I don't know if I'm skewing it or not, but I'm not trying to. I guess my idea of it is not to be a shower.
I see what you're
Get
saying.
the shower idea out of it, like that, because it's not a shower. Um, because the baby shower is for the mother,
Right.
and to help get her aid. But what do men get? Because we don't get a lot of help on becoming a dad. And
well, this
there's not a
country
lot of-
doesn't like the nuclear family anymore.
That's true.
That is, we have an agenda in this country to destroy the nuclear family. So helping fathers be better fathers is like the exact opposite of what the media is trying to push here. Whether or not that's what they say, you can see in the fact that we have like 50% of families being raised with single mothers. Like, it's a epidemic in this country of fatherlessness.
Yeah.
And
And so to have like the same expectation, like society giving the mother a baby shower and society giving the father a bachelor powwow kind of a thing.
Or
yeah, I don't think
that's ever going to happen
like just
until we like.
support.
Yeah, I think
until we
the
help
men need
the
support.
family.
But here's the thing, if you're a good Christian man, there's one place that you really should be able to find your support, and that is your church. Your home church should have all the support you need. If you cannot find the support you need in your home church, you might want to start looking for a church that can support you.
Yeah.
Unless we have anything else, I think we should wrap it up here.
Yeah, we
like
should.
This was a great first session for the Over Opinionated podcast, guys.
Yes.
Join us back in a couple of weeks for another episode.